Welcome back to another live stream for the unboxing design systems here from the Friends of Figma Portugal. My name is Bruno and I'm going to be basically your producer today, so never mind me, I'm just going to be clicking on buttons and making things work. And with me I have Raquel and Emanuel. Guys, maybe introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I think even though with your enthusiasm, eventually we'll talk, hopefully, not just be in charge of the buttons. So I'm Raquel. I'm from Lisbon, Portugal. And basically I've been working on UX UI, then product design, and now I'm more focusing on design ops. And design system is also something that I've been working on. And then today we will dig into material design. Go ahead, Emanuel.
Hey, my name is Emanuel. I'm living in Braga. I'm working at AnyBrain, a tech company, AI Institute, and I joined here Bruno and Raquel for exploring material design tree. Yeah.
Cool. So we already have people from the Connecticut, London, and Indonesia. Nice. So literally people from all around the globe today. Before we start, today we just want to start with a couple of announcements, and we're going to end with them too. First things first, we're going to have a few events after this one. If you want to join, if you're in Portugal or online, some of them on June 15th actually was booked for June 8th, but bad booking on my end. Sorry about that, everyone. We're going to have a meetup all about AI and design. More information on that coming soon. And then on the June 21st, if you can't make it to Config in San Francisco, we're going to have a watch party in downtown Lisbon. So if you're based in Lisbon, I hope that you join us. It's going to be a really cool time. We're trying to make it a good experience. Everyone gets a lot of gifts. There's going to be drinks, foods, fun, people, and just meeting the community a little bit. I know that if you guys can't make it to San Francisco to the real deal, well, that's the next best thing. So we're going to do our best to give you a really great experience. And last but not least, on June 30, also on Hire and Act, we're going to have a meetup. It's also going to be transmitted online, so it's an hybrid meetup about UX research, and more news on that also coming soon. And on top of that, we also want to remind everyone that we are partnering with Design FAO, a really great design conference in Faro, Portugal in October. And if you go to our page at friends.figma.com, Alicia from Berlin. Nice. It really is like everyone coming from all around the globe. So if you go to friends.figma.com, we have the Design FAO link there, and you can use our discount code for 10%. Plus, if you do come to our events, the Config Watch Party and the meetup on UX Research, we'll be handing out some free conference tickets to the live attendees, the people that are going to be on those events. Okay? So, before we start, any last words before we dive in?
No, so far so good.
Yes, whatever happens, it happens. That's the key. Okay, then. Let's see if the whole system is not broken again. And 3, 2, 1. Woohoo! It's working.
There you go.
Great.
And by the way, hello, Jose from Portugal. I don't know where in Portugal, but hello. So, as always, we usually start these design system unboxings with going to the source where we grab most of these design systems. Designsystems.com is a website by Figma, a publication by Figma, and it is an incredible resource for people who are looking for information about design systems, where to start, how to evolve, really specific things. There's great articles here about the future of design system, guides to iconography, grids, layout, typography, content strategy, which is a big one. But we usually kind of just skip all of this just for the sake of the show. And we usually come here to the Design System repo where we get all our ideas. Right, Raquel?
Yep. And for today will be Material 3 Design Kit. which you can perhaps I think you will go to the Figma community page, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I might be wrong, but I think that's it. Yes, so I'm just gonna
Mhm,
test it out
yeah.
really fast.
And then you need to copy for yourself. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
So this is like the best way to start when you guys want to learn about this. By the way, José Silva says close to our friend from Braga. I'm guessing if he's on the same office but just outside the door. Just asking. But there you go. Maybe. Okay. So do you want to talk a little bit about how usually this runs, Raquel? I don't know if you have any.
Yeah. So we usually basically do an overview on the pages while talking, like a coffee chat, and then eventually we'll go to Figma and our playground, and then we try to do a replicate of a screen. Today we chosen an inbox from Gmail. So yeah.
That's
Maybe
gonna
we
be a fun
can
one.
also show the material you, because I don't think that much people know, and
Yeah,
I
sure.
thought it was very interesting because it's a
So
different approach.
yeah, I'm gonna start by jumping here into the making material you
Yeah.
page from Google Design. I really honestly, I'm just gonna put it out right here. Like I love the way that they actually treated this page. This
Yeah.
making material you is like almost an homage to the idea of what it kind of means to be this like new way of working with design systems overall. So if you guys allow me, maybe we can just play a little video. I hope that everyone out there
Yeah.
can hear it because this thing is really, really cool. So
Yeah.
here we go.
Let's dig in. I think
What
there's
are
no
the boundaries
sound,
of
but hopefully
design?
on home
I
they
think
will
only you guys
listen.
can't hear it.
Okay, good. In case the audience listen, that's okay. Even though you can watch it later. So it's very appealing to
È
see.
molto bello per esempio andare a piedi nudi, perché questo che viene su dal pavimento, su nei piedi.
You should be bold. You should have the courage to be utopian.
Poetry is in the heart of man and is the capacity to go into the richness of nature.
Is design a creation of an individual? Does design imply the idea of products that are necessarily useful?
I really believe that form follows feeling.
We recognize that every human being is completely different from the other.
It's really about trying to make an empathic connection with people in their context.
Decoravano con fiori per tenere l'anima attaccata al corpo.
That is the act of design.
I'm sorry, you guys, for not
Amazing.
being able to listen to this, but just the visuals, I hope that it also
Yeah.
helped you too.
Only the visuals itself, I think they're so appealing. And I think it's the first time, and I think it was interesting to share here as well, that I see such a branding connection to a design system and the design on UI itself. So
Yeah.
for me, it was really appealing, and it's very interesting, the approach on business-wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this intro is something really cool because you have like another chapters for these videos in the website, and this one it really captured the essence of this material design. It's really good.
I love because I love the concept because it kind of is a manifesto, right? Like many design systems have like the pillars of what you create and some guideline lines. Google literally went and said, no, this is not just a design system. This is our design statement, basically. We really want to make sure that everyone like feels like design is as personal as we can. So they have this like manifesto type of thing that they do with this piece. I enjoy the way that they tell the story of what they decided here. And by the way, let me just say hello to CE Papakostas from Athens, Greece, Roger from Florianópolis, Brazil, and Kate based in Lisbon. Hey everyone, welcome to the live.
Hi there.
Hey guys.
And it's super interesting to see. And first you get like this very broad view, and then the really cool thing is when you start seeing the smaller videos about the specific topic. I think the ones that are more cool in my opinion.
I think the first one is for the colors and the way they want to implement the colors in the design system. Let's
see how this goes.
When we started designing Material U, we all wanted to pick that perfect new set of colors.
So cool.
Depends on who you
the
ask.
Bridge that they do.
The right palette might be vibrant or calm or
really
high
nice.
contrast or something else entirely. When it came time to pick
and it's
one,
so appealing,
of course,
right? You just run really
none of
want
us
to
agreed.
use it because of this
Because
inspiration.
color is personal.
Let's let
That's when we started asking
people.
Why design as if everyone sees color the same way? When we're designing new screens, we handpick tones and play with each shade, nudging the values until everything feels right. Maybe it's cheating a little. Really, designers do it all the time. It's a way to make everything come together so that it's just right for that screen. It's kind of like tailoring. But we can't ship a designer with every phone. Or can we? We start with an image that you love, the kind you choose for your home screen. From the image, one color gets picked. And from that color, 4 more are generated. The first color becomes the basis for a full palette of complementary and contrasting tones, 60 in total. Those can be used anywhere because the 2 tones that get paired together ensure accessible color and contrast, no matter what color you start from. We also had to figure out how to keep certain colors consistent. Colors a designer might apply because they're associated with specific ideas, like red to mean record, or green for answering a call. Those get a small nudge, so designers can preserve the functional values of color. So, that problem of picking one perfect color? Turns out, it was the start of a new kind of challenge. A challenge to give everyone the colors they want, not just the colors our design team likes. And to do that, colors had to be designed as a set of relationships, so that everyone's colors and preferences and style start to feel personally tailored. Tailored to you because it's made by you.
It's a really cool approach. Looking at how they decided, we can just create this idea of colors as a personal choice. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's everyone wants their own personal space with their own personal rules, and thinking about the relationship rather than the structure that usually is what we kind of default into. That is very brand-centric point of view. I love this because this is literally personal brand. This is literally Material U. It's the small things that are really interesting. Well, the other 2 videos are also really cool, but we are limited in time, and I would really love to start exploring. But honestly, I would heavily suggest you guys to just jump into this website. It's on Google Design blog, design.google.com, and then it's the first article that you're gonna find there. It's a really interesting thing, and the other 2 videos are also super interesting. And at the end of it, you have a little link that takes you to the Material U page, which is basically the Google Material page that we have already open here that we're going to be exploring today. So let it just open.
Yeah.
There you go. And Raquel,
such a good mood after this aesthetic videos, right? We already wanted to build an Android screen already. Yeah. So I think it's really appealing when you go to this homepage. It actually is always constantly changing because I usually go here as an inspiration. This material design, for instance, this background is changing. So it's very dynamic, and I really like that also transmits the idea that this is not a dead thing and it's constantly moving. And I think that's why they have news and launches right at the top, because they're very active on the blog, which I think is interesting. And then if you scroll a little bit, you also have like let's say the quick links of updates regarding updates, because eventually if you go here constantly, you probably will be impacted with the updates, because that's probably what your goal will be eventually, right? And not just doing live streams about it, let's say. And then you have quick links regarding resources, which I think is also very cool. Instead of navigating here at the left side, they just recommend like hey, there you go, some 4 quick links that you can explore. Can you go get started?
Sure thing. So get started. He's here.
Yeah. So regarding this page, I really like it because it has like anchor links. If you click on one of those links, it will be like an anchor link from the section below. And if you continue to do scroll, it will do an animation about the illustration of the section itself. And it's just, it's very appealing visually to go here and like, oh, what I'm going to do today? I'm going to develop or design. And yeah, I think it's very cool, that small visual appealing thing.
I like the way that these are the links. Also, the little icons tell you a story already.
Yeah,
this is documentation.
Exactly.
This is code. This is, I don't know,
tutorials.
Tutorials. But the star kind of like, it's weird. But then these are a little bit more normal. I like the fact that the Figma design kit, since it's out, it has a little link out. It's but it's already. It feels like they are using the same design system they are trying to teach you about. On
which
this
I think
page.
is great.
And for the lovers of dark versus light mode, they actually have a button for dark and light over here in the bottom left corner. I love my dark mode, so I'm gonna keep it on dark.
Yeah, me too. I also love it in dark mode. And if you go basically on get started regarding design,
so
I think you can go on foundations. No, maybe perhaps it's the. Can you just
styles?
Or
do you want me to go here on?
Yeah, try foundations, please. I think it's on foundations, which I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. So regarding foundations, there's one or two, I think more pages probably. One at top of mind that I found really cool, which is, I think it's a very pain point, and I think here is just so visually appealing that I found big kudos, at least for inspiration, which is when you are in content design. If you can open, please.
Okay. Sorry. Which one is?
No problem.
Design?
You can go
here
on
the left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overview.
There we go. You have overview, and then So I found it very interesting that they put the resources that they got based on when doing UX writing guidelines. That's actually a book. So I think for me it was really interesting. Yeah.
Ooh. So actual resources they got when they.
Yeah. Okay. And I found it very interesting. Maybe it's interesting for someone here that is more into UX writing or UX research. And I found it very cool. They shared like, this is our main sources and what we based on UX writing and on content design. And I found it very interesting, that their approach to share what they are based on, because it's Google, right? They shouldn't have that demand of sharing like where they do research of content design, but I found it very, very interesting. Yeah.
No, it's interesting to see this type of stuff, and it is quite open. Actually, I remember seeing a little portfolio a few years ago from a designer who did something like this, where you would go to his projects and you would have the tools plus the links to the tool, to the actual pages in the tools that he used, and it was like going into the mind of the person and seeing how they actually built it. This feels very much the same, which is quite nice.
I think one of the points for this new material concept, it was that the material design 2, it was so close, so many rules, so many objectives. Making of it, and it's open. And it's important that they show us how they do it and why they do it this way and the questions they have it. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I found it very cool, actually. Yeah. And if you go on the style guides, they actually have documentation on how to speak with the user, and especially because it's a mobile environment, I found it very interesting. Like, for instance, instead of asking, you explain while questioning, and I found it very interesting. Like, are you sure that no, that's no, we won't that. Like, if you do, you want to move to the trash, and it's very interesting. This kind of details that eventually I think most companies own. They're still not a top of mind priority, and here because it's Android, right? It's very cool, and I think it's a very good example.
That's the thing that then I think about this, and I don't think it's about mobile. I might like the way that I see material design, and that's the big issue that, for example, many times I don't see it in the same way, for example, as what Apple does with their human interface project. Yes, their whole thing kind of adapts to different models, but Google's language is truly universal, right? Like they are thinking about the world of design without kind of boundaries type of stuff. And this system is used on desktop, on tablets, on iPhone, on watches. Like it's Apple's is too, but it kind of feels like this is less compartmentalized, right? Like Apple has iOS design, as Mac OS design, Google has material, and it feels very natural to see the whole thing like this.
I think one of the videos from the first page that we were showing to the audience, it was about we are not just Google, we are more than that, and we have a lot of devices that we are work there. There is no iPhone, there is no computer. It's all of devices from TV to smartwatches, and this new design it's about that.
No, and it's super cool to see the whole like the ways that they play with the ideas of building this system, right? Like even the style guide here, while open, it's kind of short but complete that it allows you to get guidance, right? Like you have like 6 points or 4 points per page. It's not much more than that, and that already gives you a bunch of information about what you need to know. Like biggest page is this one, and even this one is like super short. So information is kind of like easy to consume. It's that methodology of like make it and again this is the same thing that they tell us on the first page on Joana Sabac, hello from Funchal. Hello Joana. And light mode people, blasphemy. That's blasphemy. But yeah, like UX best writing practices, like when it comes like explain consequences and use scannable words and formats, the whole page is built like that. Like the whole way, they really do take their material design system serious, and they build things based on the same things they are trying to teach us in these pages. They are trying to teach their developers and designers in these pages, which is really good. And many times it's something that we struggle to do, right? Like you document as you're building, so you're basically just trash.
For sure.
It's like it's notes and notes and notes and notes and things and boxes, and you don't really use the styles to do that, and it kind of like loses that initial learning mode type of thing. This feels for me like we've been trying to do that at OutSystems, where we are using the same styles that we're building to build our documentation. So it kind of feels like when you're reading the documentation, you're already learning the design language. I feel like that actually is
Inception, right? You're already there.
It just makes it easier for you. So
and I think they do something very well, which is less is more. Like you have, of course, some guidelines, but it's very visual. Like even if you don't see it, you first see the images and then eventually read it. And I think that's such a challenge to be appealing, right? Eventually people to read. Because I think that's another challenging when you do documentation. Like, because we're going to write this, eventually people will do it like that. And no, not really, right?
That's
because, documentation should be light, should be appealing. Otherwise, just for you. And that's the challenge, in my opinion. This is also very cool. And we will have a plugin to explore this, because eventually they have a plugin on Figma, which is actually using material design, but adapting a little bit to your brand. And I found such a cool toy for us to explore today. So eventually we can go there.
We'll eventually get there. I'm just gonna show it to the audience. Material theme builder in Figma, so we're gonna actually be able to play with it. I hope it works. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, let's hope. And I think related to this, it will be eventually, and it's not a coincidence that is the next page. It's the design token topic. it's very trendy, and this is also a great reference that I took from my work stuff, and because eventually they have a lot of also light but very visual explanation about what is a design token and so on.
Yeah.
So for me, I think
I
it's good.
honestly, I read this the other day, and I feel like it's probably the shortest one-liner
Yeah,
explainer. Design
yeah,
tokens represent the small, repeated design decisions that make up a design system's visual style.
yeah,
Why did no one like ever taught me this? Why did no one ever
yeah,
came and was like, "This is
yeah,
it"? Like
yeah,
I feel so much betrayed right now because no one ever taught me that this was it. Like it should be simple. But yeah, I like it. I like this very much. I feel like it gives us a very simple overview of what we're talking about, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Because usually on these big trends, eventually people get excited and then complex a lot. And I think here is very just simple as it is. Like, is this translated on this? So it's a very human touch, let's say.
yeah,
You don't have to be a code nerd to understand. If you want to have an explanation to a product manager or whatever, you can say that. Eventually they will understand a little bit. So I think it's also a good point to
And
humanize this type of questions. Yeah.
yeah, and I think they did a great update on design tokens for this new version of material design because they show the importance of scaling. When they
Mm,
last material, they had like some static and fixed size and etc. And now they are adapting to the
mm-hmm,
small, medium, large size for fonts because
mm-hmm.
they are saying, okay, so basically we have a lot of device, a lot of screens, and we need to scale, and the design needs to be scaled. So no longer fixed sizes, which is cool.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
design
And that's
token is
also a
important
good
for that.
sign. Yeah, that they
Yeah,
are listening to their audience and then eventually
exactly.
grow
And the
with
needs of the
their, yeah, yeah. So yeah, tokens for me, love it, by the way,
yeah.
regarding your question. But I'm a little bit biased, right? Because eventually I work with design systems, so eventually it's good for me to like it. But
there you
it's
go.
really good to have a dialogue between designer and developer, because I think it just humanizes, as I was saying, your decision. So yeah, you can also have it. In case you don't understand it, here is a good place to learn a little bit and to try it out and to read it. And yeah, let us know if you understand it regarding this page. I think this is a good homework for those who don't know design tokens. Study this page.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if you guys want to see something else here on the website yet. I know we haven't looked at styles, for example, and components. We can do a quick look, but time is of an essence, and we maybe should start jumping into Figma a little bit. What
Yeah.
do you guys think?
Yeah.
Maybe we can
For
jump back
sure.
and forth if you want to talk about a little bit of these things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think we can go to the playground eventually because I'm very excited to try their components and see how they
Okay.
work. And try the
So
plugins as well. We also got that extra work.
there
Let's
you
say.
go. So me and Emanuel are already on the file. You, not so much. What's with that?
Really?
Or at least I can't
I
see
have,
you.
yeah, I have
There
the,
you go. What?
okay.
You showed up
It
and you
was just,
disappeared.
yeah, okay, okay. Let me do a refresh.
Yeah. So
Open
just
here.
while you keep opening, I'm just gonna go. If you guys can find the material design profile directly in Figma community, you just go to figma.com/community and you search for material design or material. You're gonna find stuff from multiple teams of Google. Actually, Google has a lot of stuff, has a lot of things here. But let me guess, you duplicated the material tree design kit exactly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have the copy of the file and
Yeah.
the content, the library, everything.
And this is where we're gonna be. So again, first things first. And maybe Raquel or
Get started.
Emanuel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just follow Emanuel, and Emanuel can like play around and show us things while I just make sure that everyone is up and awake with us talking here. By the way, sorry about the lack of music today. New setup, and I still don't know how to play music on my Mac. for the stream, but I'm gonna find a way.
We have a good audience. They can imagine a little bit elevator music.
Everyone can use their own version of background music if they want to.
Yeah, for sure.
Or I can play my vinyl. I actually currently have How to Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar, so could be a good playlist. I don't know. Maybe I get shut down by YouTube, so maybe not.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's keep going with it. But yeah, Emanuel, I don't know if you want to like scroll a little bit around, show us how it's built.
No, okay. So this getting started is similar to the other one. It's a simplified version of the website where you have introduction about everything, the typography, icons, colors, themes. And the colors is really important because then you have the material plugin that you can get from this link if you want to. And this is really important. The colors one, it's really adapted and dynamic. I know we are talking about the colors a lot because this is major and we'll show it. Then you have like the styles that you can follow. You have the break points, which are really cool because this way you can adapt the design throughout the same devices are we talking about. And they explain really well why this is important because we have the fold mobile. Yeah, and sometimes when you do the design, you forget about these kind of new devices and platforms, and they are trying to adapt it to everyone. And the components, it's where the magic is. Let me see it. Yeah, you can start from here. Everything it's here. It's like your library. We have full examples of it, and don't forget you can adapt everything you have here, which is the cool part.
Yeah, for sure.
The playground. I think it's where we are going to play, right? Next.
Yeah.
We are going to try to use all these components, and we are trying to.
I'm gonna tell you, just look at the carousel because the carousel is super interesting because it's so different. And actually, I don't know if you guys see it, but like there was a whole like small movement online with people going crazy for how Stripe was doing a carousel like this on their landing page for a conference that they did, like or some sessions. It was like Stripe session thing. But I hadn't noticed that this was already a thing on Material, and then I started seeing this like everywhere the week after. So I feel like people kind of like joined the hype of seeing that implemented online because again, Stripe is considered like a design leader, and people go to their stuff when it comes to like the way that they implement websites. It feels like they are somewhat corporate-y, but they are like well designed. They have like little edge that makes them look really cool. And I remember looking at this gallery here, this carousel here, and feeling like, well, but that's exactly what Stripe did. But these guys already had it done. We just didn't really know about it. But it's a very different way of looking at things because we're so used to the little arrows, the swipes.
Yeah.
This has some touch to it. This has like some weight to the way that the things are being loaded here.
Yeah. If you visit the carousel component page, just to show you how they document it, you also have the GIF of how it interacts, and I think it's very cool.
So I'm just gonna switch back to browser here. Go to
just because I think it's worth it because you can see the
you have a sample over there. Yeah, it's really cool.
And then you have the GIF. Yeah, it's so smooth. Yeah.
And that's another thing that I really like about Material U. It's the motion guidelines, or at least the motion system. For sure. It's so well built. Like it's one of those things that it's becoming more and more important. Like everyone needs to have some level or some degree of motion implemented into their
I really like it.
And they are doing this so strong in the Material Design 3 and the liberty to the people to do the same. The clock. We have so many options to play around the clock and no more strict rules to that. It's cool. It's really cool.
I was looking for the clock somewhere, but I think here we only have time pickers. We don't really have like the clock.
The clock. Yeah, the clock gadget.
That one would be cool, but I don't think that they include it here because in theory it's not a UI element kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be more specific from them. Yeah.
But I like, for example, this interface for time pickers. This is like it feels wrong, kind of.
But when you use it, you kind of like, oh, okay, I get it.
And that's somewhat interesting. Okay, back to Figma again. and to see where we go. What do you guys want to do now? Do we want to look to components specifically? Do we want to start building on the playground? Then we can like go back and forth a little bit. What you guys think?
Yeah, I think maybe we can start, and then eventually with the screen needs, we can eventually dig in and talk about a little bit, perhaps. Maybe with the screen could be helpful.
I'm just gonna go to the playground and talk about
my bad with this reference that is not complete, but I think we get it how it ends. So
okay.
But I wanted to make sure that we have a recent example, so we don't we don't find this one because eventually it's not updated. But this is actually from there, so hopefully we have all the components. Let's see.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, I'm gonna ask what you guys think of this challenge. If we're just being if we're not risking it all or not. Last time we were doing it last year, so it was really hard. Material feels a little bit less challenging in that sense, but let us know what you guys think of the example that we're gonna be doing here. And like Raquel, maybe just explain what we're gonna do, because you were the one to prepare this one.
Sure. So I thought that eventually a message chat eventually could be great, because you have like here the bar with the battery and the Wi-Fi and the hours, and then eventually you are in a conversation. So I thought that avatars and then the balloons could be interesting to explore, and then here afterwards this fixed navigation when you're chatting. And then eventually, in case we have time, we can do or explore an inbox, because for me, I use Gmail all day. So I thought it could be interesting to do something regarding Gmail. So yeah, I think this one could be a little bit simple to start with, to try to find out, and then we can go on the components page and then try to see our logic when we are searching. So here, for instance, on this part, I will go something like navigation, not sure, or maybe something called fixed or info or something. So maybe we can see if we found something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't. So you're talking about the bar with the name?
Yeah, and also the first one at the top, like when you have the hours and then the simple thing like battery and Wi-Fi.
Well, yeah, usually I don't call that navigation. I might be wrong, but usually that thing kind of feels like a...
Yeah, I'm not sure about the name, to be honest. Navigation doesn't seem like it. Maybe, don't know how to call it eventually. Maybe the header? Not sure if header makes sense, actually. Not sure.
Yeah. I don't know, the center, access center, device center, something center.
Yeah.
I know it's something center. I remember
I found it. They call it top app bars. Okay, if you follow me, Bruno, I think I found something similar. Yeah, jackpot. Okay, top app bar seems legit. I'm not sure if this is the right.
You don't have the factory, then the hours.
But it's close. We're getting there.
Actually, mobile. Let me see. Mobile.
We don't need the icons. Elevation flat. Configuration small. And line. We can kind of copy that text there.
We can also see if they have like some swap logic behind. So they have like the top app bars, and then eventually you can customize. Not sure.
I'm just gonna try and understand what happened, because I lost the camera for Emanuel. I don't know what happened. I think he turned his camera off by mistake.
Oh, I know what it is. It's the battery.
Oh, phone battery.
Yeah, 20%. I mean, I can go get the charger, but let's see.
I see. I was trying this. Like, this is that component. I think it has a few configurations. We have like the sizes that go from small centered, which has 2 icons. It has small, and then it has medium and large.
Which is very interesting. Yeah,
maybe small centered feels like it's the correct thing, but then contrary to the others, it doesn't really have like a way to just turn that one off. Like the icon on the right, which feels weird. I just use like Figma's shortcut to hide things, but it was not what I expected for sure.
Okay. Yeah, let's see if we found out more things. Maybe they use an icon button, maybe on the top, but not sure because it doesn't seem. I'm not sure if it's
So
just
we have
an
the
icon.
outlined, we have the filled, we have the standard, and we have the tonal. So it's a tonal, state enabled, and the icon should be an arrow to navigate back. So I'm just gonna look for an arrow.
Yeah.
Icon arrow back 24. It still feels a little bit
Bottom
big compared to
sheets.
that, which is weird. Like the whole size of it, massive compared to that example. But that might also be that because that's like a gigantic title, I guess. Like,
Yeah. I also found something from the
Yeah,
bottom actually.
the font is
Yeah.
not even. Yeah, the font is probably not the same.
it feels like the same, but like bigger.
No, it's the size. Yeah, the size is bigger.
Yeah, the size is
Definitely
bigger,
bigger.
yeah.
I'm just gonna try and replicate the text and see how we can do this.
It's probably a medium. I would say medium. We are using large.
So medium.
Wait.
Wait, it broke when I was trying to change. Okay.
No, it's with me. Same time, but not the
worries.
same. Still not the same.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep looking for the arrows also because this arrow also feels a little bit big. Again, we might not even care a little bit about that. Like let's just ignore it because that might just be because it's attached. It's a screenshot, so it kind of uses like a gigantic phone as an example. So maybe it's even bigger than our Android large. So this would be the size that we would go with, right?
Yeah, because this is also sprint screen, so yeah, maybe we can adjust the reference. They also have this thing, which is very interesting. I would like to try to see how this works. Let me just put it here. Because
for that, you went for
it
navigation.
could be a headline instead of title. I don't know. Let me see.
That's bigger.
No, it's still bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger.
It's strange because if you go there, you have like title, then you have large, medium, and small, and the large one it's regular, and then it's medium and medium.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's different with you.
Interesting.
Let's keep doing this. So it has two icons, and then this thing on the right. It's actually not this. It's like a full input or a text input. Wow.
Yeah, let's see what they have regarding inputs.
Input.
The speakers.
And for the people feeling like we are lost, yes, we're always a little bit lost in this stream.
Yeah,
so we're just
I think that's
the.
Yeah, I think it's really just for us to try with the audience, like how we can explore, and that's okay when you don't get it right away because we are exploring, right? So you're trying to understand if this is also easy to use or whatnot. Yeah. So it's interesting.
We have this text field thing.
Yeah, you have it here on search, but maybe it shouldn't be the search. If you see it here, the search one, it's slightly cousin to what we need. Let's say it like that.
So, for example, we don't need the supporting text. And in theory, we also don't need a label, but I don't find a way to take out the label. I guess. Oh, label text configuration, just one. Now it's getting there, and then it's still not that, but it's already looking.
But it's
like
getting there. Yeah, it's getting there.
So, mic. So I got a microphone. I got label. So this is a text field. Maybe we can just replace this button. I don't know if that should be the correct thing, but I'm just gonna test it. So text.
Yeah, let's try it out.
Ooh, it just kind of broke. Fixed width. It doesn't really work as I wanted. Oh, because it's also set as a the button is built in Figma using the fixed position thing. So we actually this is not the bar that we're probably looking for.
Okay.
Or if it is, it should be something different. Let me search for message to see if there's anything for message.
Yeah, I also found this one, Bruno. This labeled kind of round shape. Maybe also could be a possibility, but not sure. Like AA.
You can try to.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not adapted.
Interesting. Show
It's not
icon.
adapted.
Yeah, it only has it, but on this side actually. So it's really interesting.
And for those that are still listening to us, mumbling a little bit, trying to figure out where the components are, throw your guests in the chat. We really need to understand what's going on, what you guys think these components are called. Let us know if we can try and find it. And maybe while you guys are looking for them there, I'm just gonna go back to the browser and look at the components and try to see if I can figure it out.
You have the search. I mean, search bar is different.
Yeah, the search is slightly cousin, right? It's similar to our needs. So
you can change icon here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think that could be a good approach to try.
So looking
to
at the documentation, the bottom apps for the bottom app bars are a little bit different, like just like iconography and buttons. It's just more how you open up stuff rather than text fields. So I'm gonna say almost 100% that's not it. But in any case, what? So text fields. I found the text field block. It has a field and outlined. Containers, icons, leading icons. I'm just going through the documentation, trying to figure out where it makes sense or not.
Yeah, what makes sense. Yeah. Could this be like a navigation bar but for chats? I'm just pointing out loud, but not sure.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, it feels like it's not exactly what we're looking for. Right? Like, it feels like it's a slightly different thing.
Yeah.
Could be more than one.
Bottom. There you go. Bottom app bar. That could be also something.
But that's the one that we were using first, and it's the one that it's basically just icons.
That it's no bueno. Yeah.
This should be a little bit simpler.
Dialogues. Okay.
I don't know if dialogues would be it, because dialogues usually
Oh no,
are like...
I think okay, yeah, it's a different dialogue. Yeah. Okay.
Might see menus. Menus are drop-down lists and stuff like that.
Can you try the navigation bar just to double check what they have there?
It's the first one that I actually went to, so it's focused on...
Sorry, I wasn't
here.
Yeah,
you have the search one, but it's different. It's like search.
So what we're getting here is like, yes, it's a text input, but it's not the text field, so we're struggling with finding it, and that's it. Like, that's basically it. We're just struggling to try and understand what's actually going on here. Which is...
but I think the search one is the most because they might felt like it's a search on your website. It doesn't make sense, but if you compare, they're actually quite similar. If you take at least one of the icons this one.
Yeah, that's the closest thing that you get, but then the spacing is broken because it's not using like the correct padding because of the text. Again, like, it's weird because it is the component that feels more like the one that we're looking for, but at the same time it kind of like doesn't fit the structure, so it's weird. But it doesn't stop being like actually cool. I guess. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna just reset all changes. I'm gonna keep it at 2 icons and take out the fab, and then maybe replace this icon button with the search bar. It still breaks. Why does it break? Oh, because it can't allow.
This one's, I think, should be icon buttons, perhaps the emoji face, and this one's slightly bigger. So I think icon buttons should be okay.
I'm starting to get there. I just replaced the wrong button.
You have the option. We're using a tile.
Yeah.
Just gonna do this.
Should be like emoji. Let's see if this works. Not emoji.
People struggling to find components to build things. Yay! People struggling to find components to build things. Yay! Sorry.
Okay.
So it's like I feel like the system kind of works, but at the same time, like it's hard to find what we're looking for. I'm using the same thing as you guys are. I'm just building it inside the nav bar, so you can probably just replace these icons with those.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put it here. Okay. This is one was the closest one that I found. It has an emoji on the icons library. So yeah.
And the first one is the plus, right? So
icon buttons. Icon button. No, it's not here. Styles, elements, icons.
It's not this actually, but it still
I
allows
know.
me to kind of like.
But it's the most closer one.
Cancel the checkbox. Cancel as a little circle. I'm just gonna put this.
Okay. You're gonna improve and put it. Yeah. What it could be the balloon ones. I think that will be challenging as well.
Yeah, but they do have a limited list of icons.
But you have the option for more icons you have the link over there. So
material symbols might be the way to fix this, right? Like we're looking for the material.
The plugin.
You have more. Yeah. They're showing you have more. That's just a sample.
Yeah.
So let's say that we're looking for a smile, and the one that you're looking for is like, which one of these is a regular one? It's like this. This is the symbol that we actually want. So maybe, and here starts the counter on breaking components. By the way, everyone, I'm sorry, I still had the browser open. Thank you, Ligia, for the notice. I didn't notice that we were still showing the browser and not Figma. It's my mistake. So right now, it should start showcasing the Figma. Component breaking 101. We started. It's already beginning. So I'm just gonna go and like try and drop things here. I broke that, and then the plus. I'm just gonna get. Did anyone else grab like the plus icon, or no one found it?
At least here I didn't found it right away, but let me just double check because I was starting to explore the balloons ones. Yeah.
Found it on the balloon on the plugin. I found it. It's built. It's here. It's weird, but it's there. And maybe
there you go.
No, it's not the same.
I like that one. I like that one. That's the baby thing.
The baby one, yeah, it's cute.
Also, do they have like? There you go. They have grids. Ooh, my screen turned off. Sorry, I can't see anything. Give me a second. Here we go. So are we looking? What are we looking for? This is a small, so extra small thing. That would be it. Okay. So I'm guessing these should be like 16. Yep. So it's not perfect, but we're starting to have like the settings built in the correct way. The icon here should be the microphone that we didn't really change. I don't know what you guys want to do. Let's put a timer on this. Like, let's say that we have like 10 more minutes to just try and build it and see how it goes. Maybe I need to break that component because the only way to replace that is like breaking it, because I think that the
size will it's not
the search one, the trailing element, first trail, that's it. Yeah, then second trail.
I think I will also try to explore to do the inbox just in case I found something here, like the message and the search conversation. So the search one we already have, so I'm just gonna recycle.
I'm gonna focus on you right now. I'm just gonna follow you and see what you're building.
Yeah.
And by the way, thank you again, Ligia, for warning us. We were literally just too much
focused
on
we're
this.
Just three children's playing around, so thank you for being the adult one. Okay, let me see if I found this hamburger style here. Yeah. Okay, then search conversations. This seems slightly big, so
it's the same thing that I said before, right? Like the way that it's built on top is not exactly the baseline components. It has some specific definitions to it, and it feels like the sizes that we're using are the correct ones, or they feel like the correct ones, but the system that is being shown on top is on a bigger phone than the one that we're using. So, like this thing says Android large as the template on Figma, but I feel like so Android large is 360 by 800, and we're actually working on resolutions like the iPhone 14 Plus Max type of thing.
Yeah. I just figured that the large would fit, but yeah, I will go. That's really weird using iPhone to draw.
No, it's just because we don't
Android.
really have like the biggest thing, but if you look at it, like this fits here.
Yeah, it fits best. Yeah.
And maybe it feels a little bit more natural to it. Yeah, if you see now, like now the font feels tiny, side by side.
Yeah. I understand you for sure. Let me just try this out.
I'm glad you were curious, Elysia. At least you're commenting. I wish that everyone else would also be commenting, because we really want to hear from you guys and see what you guys think about what's going on here.
Yeah.
So I think that the fonts being small. Right now we're using Roboto here, but honestly, looking at this, I feel like this is not using Roboto. I feel like the numbers are from Google's other fonts. Right, this 930 here, I think it's like Google's font, because Google has their own font, right? Like if we go to the website, just gonna showcase again, they have this font here, which is in Roboto. It's not like the system font for Android. It's actually, I'm gonna use my Google Chrome inspecting skills on something that isn't Google Chrome actually. It is actually Google Sans, so we might not get exactly the same results because Google Sans is a little bit different.
Slightly. That's a good point. I didn't notice that it was slightly different from Roboto, because I was just assuming that it would be Roboto. Let me just see. I think this one's could be it, but this one's actually are having a slightly smaller border, so it could be interesting to see if it's a chip or something instead of a button. I think it could be a chip, perhaps.
Those might be chips, yeah.
Yeah.
And then probably they are like elevated and rather than outlined. I don't know.
There you go. This one is better, Emanuel, because it has the avatar.
Change it. Yeah, you have the state one. You have like, let me see if I.
Yeah,
it's called show avatar. And
okay.
You can,
Okay. Because for some reason this was nav item. Interesting. They look very similar. So this one is the most correct one.
You can reset if you want. Like, no.
Yeah.
Okay. And then just like the.
Yeah. Go for it. And I think here this would be label only. And interesting. They also have. Which, by the way, what's your opinion of having all the states documented on Figma? Because usually the designers, for the daily basis, use only like the active, and then sometimes they could use like the focus from prototype. But then here they have like focus, pressed, dragged, and disabled. I think it really depends on how much knowledge or how much your designers eventually have to prepare, right? Because having all the states. Yeah,
it's mostly about what you actually feel like you need. I have all of the states, so I have a lot of the states because we also prototype with them, right? Like the states are there mostly for prototyping rather than designing, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's just it. So let's see, for example, if this one is focused, what's the difference? I see no difference between focused and enabled. Oh,
yeah,
it's slightly.
Yeah, and then you have this. Okay, yeah, it's slightly a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah,
just selected.
Just a little bit.
It's a good one, but it's not what we want. But it's already closer to what we're trying to get from up there.
Yeah, actually, I was just trying to.
I'm just gonna test something out with this already as in mind, which has some components, and since we're already at 7:37, so it's like it's starting to get a little bit late. I'm just gonna run the material theme builder?
Yeah. Go. I think it will be
Yeah,
interesting
that will be awesome
to
show.
explore.
So we are
We don't
on the
have it
current
here, but I
theme.
will also
Have new
explore the
theme.
carousel.
F theme.
Interesting.
And it's creating color styles. Okay. Saving color styles. I'm waiting for it to see what happens. Because I honestly don't really know what's going on.
Because I think eventually you have to prepare perhaps the skin first. Let's say, there you go. Oh, it could be dynamic. They could suggest perhaps.
Something is running on the background. I probably should have read before I did anything, right? Like
yeah.
It just happened. Okay. Cool. Dynamic. How does the dynamic work? Is it like
perhaps you have to
image?
select the artboard, perhaps, and then he has to do dynamics inside of that artboard, perhaps. Not sure. Because on the logic, that would make sense.
I'm just gonna be less of a smartass and I'm gonna pull it. I'm gonna pull it
and
here.
we could go on the plugin page. Yeah.
Material Theme Builder and read. Okay, the Material Theme Builder is built to assist exploring the possibilities of dynamic color. There you go. Dynamic brings you the image. Right now, it's already giving us the theme in green, which is the source color.
Amazing.
Generate so cool. Accessible light and dark color schemes. So I'm just gonna put a dark mode here really fast. And it already changed everything.
Did you see it? Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
So extended colors had a color. I clicked on it. Let's see what that actually does. Some things are changing. I don't know if it's you guys or if it's this.
Yeah. I saw it. Yeah.
Randomizing. I'm just gonna randomize things. I switched the source color to see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see. Ooh, okay.
New palette.
I don't know if it's still working or not, but it's.
Yeah, it's working. See, the avatar change, also the color.
Yeah, the blue one.
I'm just waiting to see what it comes out of it, because I feel like I don't know if it's my laptop that it's slow, or if it actually the plugin is a little bit heavy, so it's taking its time.
Yeah. Probably it's too smart for this.
Man.
I think it's
I am running several things at the same time, but this is supposed to be a machine that supports, because it's like an M1 Pro. So Apple, please support this.
Yeah.
Emanuel, what you were saying?
Yeah, no, if you go to the color styles, you are generating new colors.
Ah, really? Ah, amazing.
FOF is here.
And
look. Oh wow!
Yeah, you just narrate
a lot of information. Okay, so they create their design tokens.
So slow. That's why.
Yeah.
But you already have the name of it, the style, where to use it, the error.
Yeah, and it seems very design token friendly. So so they do the global ones, and then they do the purpose, like semantic ones, from what I understand.
Which is interesting. Yeah. So let me just kind of close all of them and first understand the amount of things that it just created, right? Like, so for context, we clicked one button without knowing what we were actually doing, and the plugin from this amazing theme being the material design team builds the FOF styles for text and color, generates system colors for light and dark modes, reference token colors, and these are basically primary, secondary, tertiary, error neutral, and neutral variant. Key colors, which goes with the main color of the brand.
Of the source color.
State layers, and then there's an extended custom color setup, which is based on the extra color that we're putting here that I just clicked on.
Wow. This is also very cool for teams to explore. Like, if they don't know how to name their design tokens, they can just go here and take ideas.
I'm just gonna test out updating with our design, our system from the.
Yeah. Perhaps you should have deleted the other ones, but not sure.
I don't think, because I feel like it's gonna update.
Oh, it will replace?
Yeah.
Perhaps? Interesting test. Let's see how it goes.
That's all we can do right now. It replaced the FOF styles. I think it should have already started to change things, so I don't know.
Maybe then you have to do the swap button, like
light and dark modes are
ah.
just like you just click on dark and light, and it kind of just applies them really fast, like dark and light.
Okay.
Those are fast.
Good.
The image thing, it feels like it's not actually adding.
Maybe it's fast because it's already generated and in the color style, so it's going to pick things that already exist.
Yeah.
So
pretty cool.
Cool. Can you just double check the styles if you have something yellow or red on it, so we can see if this is actually a thing?
Well, the way that these are working, it generated a lot of colors. I don't think it's getting the yellow and red thing. So so PNG under 2 megabytes, image source, wallpaper or content, and then source color. It's like it has a color picker, but that's not what we want. But it's still generating colors really fast and styles really fast, which is great. Again, like getting to this level of using systems to build things, using code in Figma to build things. By the way, Emanuel, your phone is dying again. It's just your beautiful picture twirling your mustache right now. I don't know if he died completely because I'm
no, he's back. He's back on track.
Oh, audio is off though. We can't hear you. We can't.
Yeah, I'm at 10% battery.
So we have 15 minutes to go, and you're at 10%.
I will say 20 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna, anyways, shuffle and see how it affects. But if I'm not mistaken, it already changed. For example, the one on top, the one down there. I don't know.
Yeah, the avatar. The avatar, we can see it.
So,
but I think this plugin, it's really connected when we started this live stream regarding the material you use. So you have the plugin that actually use an image, which they actually do that on the video. And then you can, when we do it right, we can create design tokens from this. So it's really cool. Like the whole concept behind it.
Yeah, and I feel like the thing here is mostly, again, like many things that we test out when we're doing this. Let me just do swap. So I'm gonna click here to see if it swaps the styles, or here again, swap, and then dark, and then light, swap.
Okay,
it's working. No, I'm just gonna put like a weird red hue.
Yeah.
With a lot of chroma and more like a pink thing. Apply. Let's see what this does to the color styles and see how it affects them. But in any case, like I feel like it's still doing a really good job of like playing around with trying to build things using the components that it has. But like it might be that we still need, looking at their components, like the pre-built components, you can see how it kind of just works really well.
Yeah, because it's their stuff, so eventually it should work eventually, right?
Yeah. So we can easily just
like the predefined one.
Yeah, we can easily just play around with them, turn them dark, turn them light, see how they are.
But it's that quick, right? That's really good. Like if you want to go dark mode, that's it.
We can even just select really everything and click swap. And now let's say that we want to go to the M2 again, swap. And it should kind of change. Yeah, it changes immediately everything else, and then you can play around with dark and then light, and it just changes the whole thing. So I'm guessing it's like when you set everything up and you know what you're actually doing, this is going to become easier. If you are designing with material, if you are designing with Google's language, this is a game changer because it's going to save you a lot of time. Plus, this is something that we were really not playing around with it here, but it allows you to export the code.
That's a big thing. Yeah, that's great.
So
that's awesome.
This should be easy to then bring into your programmer. And again, if you look at the way that they have their documentation, right? Like if you look at the way that they have their website, the develop section has a lot of information for their programmers, right? And this is kind of like an extension to it. Like even the plugins are an extension to it, which is really, really cool. But yeah.
Oh, regarding the section, I found it here somewhere. Just try Android, please. The Android section, and I think somewhere maybe it's on the Jetpack Compose, sorry, because it was like designed for Android. Yeah, that one. And I found it very interesting, that second card, designed for Android, which is basically a guideline on the developer side how to design for Android. So I found it
Might
very
I
appealing.
just add on top of all of these amazing things, I love the squiggly line. I could look at it for hours.
Yeah.
It's just going, let it go, let it go.
Yeah.
No, but it's interesting to see how these platforms are getting more and more extended when
Yeah,
it comes to
yeah.
these things. And it's normal. For example, it's the same thing as if you go to Apple developers, right? Like that's where you get the information about designing for iOS, designing for iPadOS. Having it on Android developers, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And it's an extended way of adding more information that is specific to the user.
And
Fun detail though. I don't know if you're noticing it, but like if the button is focused, it changes the
Yeah.
border radius.
Yeah, that's slightly interaction. Yeah.
It's interesting.
I was about saying something about the colors. I think for the new developers, when you are developing something like gadget app for the Android, with the new things, the color things, you can adapt the color for your environment. For example, I'm creating an app Android, and for my home screen, I want the colors to be dynamic. So, depending of your mobile templates theme, the colors of the app will change it too. So it's unique for each user, which a cool thing. You can of course disable it, but they give you the opportunity to adapt the colors for which really cool. For example, the gadget, they will adapt for the theme you have in the phone. It's really amazing.
Yeah. That's so cool. Like more personalization when, and I think that's also a good message
freedom.
on design system, right? Because eventually I think people think, okay, this is the only way of doing things. And when they present this kind of solutions, you kind of think, oh, this is not that static. This is actually very plastic.
Exactly.
Very.
They're trying to change that idea of you have the rule and you need to follow the rule. You just have two options for it. No longer. You can adapt it. And I think this Figma file, it's the reason why we can't build that screen, because we need to adapt.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to find the reason why it's not working.
Yeah. Usually because we are going here and explore, but eventually have to do some more homework. Eventually, it would be a little bit
It's
better.
taking the time
but
to
I think
understand how things are built. Like it literally like 1 hour and a half might not be enough. Maybe as a designer at Google, maybe as a designer using materials to build your things, you need to first study a little bit. You need to break the structures that you're bound to, which is a very common thing, unfortunately, right? Like we are used to do some cool stuff and play around with a bunch of components and build our own things, but like it's a matter of taking time to learn. Like right now we didn't really thought about it, but I went and looked for background color and it has a background, right? Like it has a background color that we didn't look for, or a surface variant, which is like more, it's a darker tone. Stuff like that. Like it takes time to explore and find these because they aren't like directly in our brain. We're still learning the language. So it's the onboarding process that which has been a common thread on most of these design system live streams. The onboarding is the hardest part. We're looking at the way that we start building things, and almost all the time, the two or the three of us just go heads down and we start picking components and we start building things, and all of a sudden, like it's just they don't look good because we just didn't waited and read like 3 or 4 lines of text.
Yeah. We were too human for it.
But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, and also I think it's to understand exactly which material, it's funny, material, but which assets they give to people, right? Because eventually, perhaps us that we're trying to do chats, perhaps on the common world, maybe people don't have the need to create chats. Eventually, they will create something else, right? So I think they also think like which components might be suitable or reasonable to explore with outsiders. So because eventually their internal one might be much richer for sure. So yeah, it's also interesting. But at least we learn a little bit and we take ideas like, oh, this is how they organize tabs, and you can see a lot of interactions and documentation of the states and the sizes and so on. So for me, it's always fun to
No,
explore.
it's really
No,
good
it's
to
true.
see what these things are
Yeah.
looking for. And like again, it takes time, but we learn a lot when we look at these systems. We also learn a lot when it comes to
Ah,
also
you're
uh,
getting there.
you're gonna find it, you're gonna build it.
No, the thing is, it's not the same. The component. I mean, I will show you the.
Yeah.
It looks like this. Look, nothing.
Ah, okay, yeah. And then you switch a
That's the
little bit. Yeah.
yeah, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure it out. It looks
But
something.
that's also a good lesson. Like, even that the component is not suitable, we know that these they are very consistent, some patternization in UI. So we use the search that it was supposed to be a chat, but because they're so consistent on the way that the UI is built, we can use it. So I think that's also very good, consistent, right? When things are so solid that they actually are very similar, but you can understand when it's a search and when it's a balloon chat, even. So I think that's a good thing as well. I think
Yeah.
when you don't basically just made up UI just because, right? Eventually, if they are similar, it's okay, but on the context, they are different because you get it, right? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's also very
And again,
interesting. Yeah.
for example, this is a great example where we see the font is not the same, so it kind of feels a little bit different when we're trying to build it, but at the end
Yeah.
of the day, it is the same thing.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah.
way, with config coming up, looking at this, I just keep thinking about, I love selection colors. Why don't we have selection fonts?
Interesting. Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
we still need a better font picker, but selection
Yeah.
fonts, like the opportunity to like change all the fonts at the same time. I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
love that. I would
Yeah.
love that. I don't know why it doesn't exist, but it would be amazing. I'm sorry, Figma, but please do that. I need it. Like ASAP.
You know, one of the coffee chats that you will have on config right now. No, so you know selection fonts. Yeah, you should consider that.
Yeah. Well, I get the day earlier, so I can probably go and try to find Dylan and like just annoy him to the hell. Like this thing, like fonts and like improving the way that we select fonts and things. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be that annoying guy.
Yeah.
Which is, again, it's gonna be fine. In San Francisco, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be Figma. It's gonna be a mix of a lot of config is gonna be a mix of a lot of design recruiters looking for new designers. I'm pretty sure that Roji was joking about it on Twitter today. But also, like, a lot of people just trying to have these conversations about how these products should evolve. But, and there was actually at the same time that we're doing this on Twitter Spaces a little bit before we started the live stream, Fons Mans was talking with a bunch of people from the community, including the official Figma Twitter account. So I don't know who was speaking through it, but supposedly someone was there. I know that Roji was there. They were talking about what do people expect would come out during config, which is always a nice chat. But again, I don't feel like we have to wait so much, right? Like we're like 3 weeks away from config. The keynote is the first thing. Again, we should be fine on that. And on that note, and since we have like 4 minutes to end,
yeah, I was going actually to recommend that. So good. Yeah.
Remember, everyone. Thanks also for starters. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Remembering everyone that we also have a few other online events coming up. We have a meetup on June 15 online on AI and design with more information coming soon. We have our watch party for those in Lisbon that can't attend config, or in Portugal if you want to come to Lisbon. We're going to have it at Iron Hack right by the river in downtown Lisbon, an amazing location. So it's a really cool spot to end the day and meet another designers, feel a little bit of that buzz that config is going to have, but in Lisbon. It feels kind of like San Francisco if you ask some Americans, so it's fine. It's going to be the same thing. And then on June 30, we have an hybrid meetup, so some people can join us in person, but we're also going to be streaming it about UX research led by our very own Marcelo, which is going to be fun, I guess. I am not a UX researcher, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. And on top of that, again, reminding everyone, we're going to be at Design FAO in October. There's going to be a meetup before the conference, but if you want to join us at the conference, the lineup of speakers is amazing. It's a one-day conference on October 20th. It's going to be a really, really fun event. So if you want, I highly recommend it. It's a great moment in time to just take a day out, learn some cool things, meet some really amazing people, and just chill by the ocean for a day. So we have a 10% discount code always active on our website. Right now the early birds are still on, so get those. It's a little bit cheaper than the final price of the ticket, and you're not gonna regret it. There's some amazing speakers like Stephen Gates, Romina, I don't know her last name, sorry about that.
Yeah, but it's really related to design system. If you are very active on LinkedIn, you will know who she
so
is.
It's some really great names. Kate Pincott, that already came last year to talk about a different topic. This year she's going to be talking mostly about coaching for designers. We also have Nuno Loureiro, who actually is an amazing person who once actually lended us his own space to do one of our meetups. And Nuno is one of the designers on the Ethereum Foundation, which is also a really amazing topic about how to design for Web3 and the future and stuff like that. So there's a lot of really great topics there. Join us if you can. We would love to see you there, or at least I would love to see you there. And yeah, that's it, guys. Raquel, Emanuel, I think we're done for today. I think we're tired of trying to figure things out.
We almost did the screen.
We almost built the screen. If you guys can build it afterwards, we'll post it on our socials and say how much longer we took. But I think it's been a really fun day. Anyways, like it was a really cool thing to just dive into their materials, dive into what Google has built and the material team has built for this. And yeah, like now it's just chilling and taking our time, and that's it. Trying to learn the material
our good
language.
audience eventually will try to replicate something and then share also as well with us.
It will be fun if they explore the design system.
If you guys want to test out building things with material and sending it to us, we can share it on our socials. And if you want to join us at our events or on our spaces, friends.figma.com. It's where you can find the Portugal group, but also the global group. There's a link to our global Discord there. You can join us there. And if you want to join the Portuguese chapter, we also have a Slack. Don't hesitate to drop us a message if you find us on Discord or anything like that to bring you into the Slack. We're trying to put that link a little bit more publicly, but it keeps just expiring and we need to fix that. But we would love to have you there. We would love to have you having these conversations with us at any point in time. Okay? And Raquel and Emanuel, thank you very much.
Thank you as well. Thank you for the audience. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.